Hi, my dear students. This is your Math 7 teacher, Sir Larry. Welcome to Module Legend. This is now your Week 3, Module 3. Please bear with me for Math Pinasaya at Math Pinadali. This is Mathematics 7, your Module 3 entitled Absolute Value and Operations on Integers. Operations on integers consist of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of integers. Our objectives for today: after going through this module, you are expected to first, represent absolute value of a number on the number line. Second, find the sum of integers and solve problems involving additions of integers. Third, find the difference of integers and solve problems involving subtraction of integers. Fourth, find the product of integers and solve problems involving multiplication of integers. And fifth and last, find the quotient of two integers and solve problems involving division of integers. Now, in your previous lesson, you learned that the subset of a real number can be represented using a number line, wherein 0 is the center of a number line. The numbers having the same distance from 0 on a number line but are in opposite directions are called opposites. Our lesson 1, representing absolute value of a number on a number line. Now, what is it? When we talk about absolute value of a number is the distance of a number from 0. Remember, distance itself is always positive. Again, take note that distance is always positive. The absolute value of a number n is written as this absolute n. This symbol, these two lines, is what we call the symbol of absolute. Now, if x is a positive integer, then the absolute value of x is x. In symbol, we have this: the absolute of x is equal to x if x is greater than 0. For example, we have this absolute 7 or absolute value of 7, therefore is equal to 7. Remember, absolute is always positive. Since 7 is a positive integer, then the absolute value of 7 is 7. Another one, if x is equal to 0, then the absolute value of x is x. In symbol, the absolute value of x is equal to x if x is equal to 0. For example, the absolute value of 0 is equal to 0. Since 0 is equal to 0, then the absolute value of 0 is 0. The third one, if x is a negative integer, then the absolute value of x is the opposite of x. In symbol, we have this, the absolute value of negative x. So is equal to x if x is less than 0 or lesser than 0. For example, we have the absolute value of negative 10. Therefore, the absolute value of negative 10 is equal to 10. Remember, take note, as what I mentioned earlier, that absolute value is always positive. Since negative 10 is a negative integer, then its opposite integer is 10. Okay? In writing the absolute value of a number, just write the numerical part. The absolute value of 5 is 5. In symbol, absolute value of 5 is equal to 5. Then, the absolute value of negative 5 is also 5. In symbol, the absolute value of negative 5 is equal to 5. So always that the result is always positive. Now, let's illustrate. Represent the following absolute value of a number on a number line. For example, this number 1, absolute value of 6. So, since 6 is 6 units from 0, so this is the number line. So the 0, the left side is the negative numbers and the right side is the positive numbers. So since 6 units from 0, the absolute value of 6 is 6. So this is the symbol, is equal to 6. 6 units, therefore we have the 0. So count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 units. Next, we have the absolute value of 0. So using the number line, the absolute value of 0 is 0 in the symbol, just like this. Absolute value 0 is equal to 0. So of course, since 0, so you can see this point in 0. Okay? Next, the absolute value of negative 3. So in this number line, so since negative 3 found in the left side, since negative 3 is 3 units from 0, the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. In symbol, negative 3 or the absolute of negative 3 is equal to 3. So negative 3 found here in the left side, and let's count 3 since 3 units. So 1, 2, 3. Therefore, negative 3 is the absolute of positive 3. Now, what you have learned? Okay, so to sum it up, let us complete these statements. Choose your answer from the box that best complete each of the statement below. So again, you have the blank of a number is the blank of a number from blank. Remember, distance itself is always blank. So the absolute value of a number n is written as blank. So what would be the answer for number 1? Okay, absolute value of a number is the distance of a number from 0. Remember, distance itself is always positive. The absolute value of a number n is written as, okay, so this is the symbol for the absolute. Okay, so lesson 2 is all about the addition of integers. So in the previous lesson, you have learned that the absolute value of a number is the distance of a number from 0. Now let's proceed to the operations of integers. So addition of integers. So study the following example. So addition using number line. So use the number line to find the sum of 6 and 5. Okay, so on the number line, start with point 6. Okay, so since find the sum of 6 and 5, so 0.6 here, since all positive, so 0.6 and count 5 units to the right. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At what point on the number line does it stop? It stops to number 11. Therefore, 6 plus 11, 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. Again, find the sum of 6 and 5. Therefore, add the two numbers, 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. Now, find the sum of 7 and negative 3. Now, we have the value of positive 7 and the negative 3. So, on the number line, start from, of course, 7 and count 3 units going to the left. Why left? It's because the value of 3 is negative. Therefore, we're going to count going to the left. Since the sign of 3 is negative, at what point on the number does it stop? So let's start from 7. So 7 is, let's count 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Therefore, it stopped to number 4. So it stopped at point 4, hence 7 plus negative 3 is equal to 4. Because we talk about addition of integer, therefore the sign is always add, since addition of integer. Next. Okay, what is it? Operations of integer can be performed using different ways. As to addition of integer, let's make use of sign tiles and the rules. So there are ways on solving the addition of integers. So it could be the sign tiles and the rules. So first, addition of integers using sign tiles. So let positive represents positive 1. Negative represents negative 1. Now, when we combine positive with one negative, they will cancel each other. Again, when we combine, if you see positive and negative, then they will cancel each other. When we combine one positive with another positive, they will appear as still positive. Another one, when we combine one negative with another negative, they will appear as negative. Okay, it's all about addition of integers, still in addition of integers. So remember this one. Okay, you need to remember this one in adding the integers. Okay, now let's try combine positive 1 2 3 4 positive and 1 2 3 4 5 positive. Since the first 4 tiles are positive and the next 5 tiles are also positive, therefore they will appear as, okay, just add the 2 positive. We have the 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. Okay, so since 4 positive and the other part is 5 positive, then 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. This is using a tiles method. Okay. Another one, combine these 3 negatives and 4 negatives. Since the first 3 tiles are negative and the next 4 tiles are also negative, therefore they will appear as negative, this one. In symbol, we have negative 3, since 3 negative plus the 4 negatives is equal to negative 3 plus negative 4 is equal to negative 7. So this is in line with this statement. Okay, when we combine one negative with another negative, they will appear as negative. So ito yun. Another one, combine positive and negative. So combine 5 positive and 3 negatives. Since the first 5 tiles are positive and the next 3 tiles are negative, then the 3 positive tiles and the 3 negative tiles will cancel each other. Again, if you see positive and negative, then you can already cancel that one. Okay, then the 3 positive tiles and 3 negative tiles will cancel each other. Therefore, the remaining will appear as positive. Since in the first tile, there are 5 positive and the second tiles, there are 3 negatives. So, cancel the 3 tiles here as well as the 3 negatives here, and the remaining will be 2. In symbol, 5 plus the negative 3 is equal to 2. Another method, Addition of integers using the rules. Rule number 1. When the integers have like signs, add the numbers and copy the common signs. Again, when we say like signs, magkapareho. Okay, yung sign. It's either positive, positive, negative, negative. Magkapareho sila. For example, number 1, 8 plus 5. Positive 8 plus positive 5, they are both positive, is equal to 13. Notice that 8 is positive and 5 is also positive. They have like signs. So add 8 and 5, then copy the common positive sign. Therefore, the answer is positive 13. Example number 2. Negative 10 plus negative 9. Same sign, right? Both negative. Therefore, negative 10 plus negative 9 is equal to negative 19. Okay? Notice that 10 is negative and 9 is also negative. They have like signs. So what is their sign? Negative. So add 10 and 9, then copy the common negative sign. Therefore, the answer is negative 19. Okay, next. Rule number 2. When the integers have unlike signs, unlike, when we talk unlike, earlier we talk like signs. Now, unlike signs. Yung magkaiba yung sign. Positive or negative positive. Subtract the numbers and use the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. Greater. Yung malaking value or absolute value. For example, number 1. Negative 2 plus 4 is equal to 2. Remember, 2 is negative while 4 is positive. They have unlike sign, right? Negative si 2, positive si 4. So subtract 2 from 4, then copy the sign of 4 since it has the greater absolute value. Since 4 is greater absolute value and 4 is positive, therefore the answer is positive 2. We will copy the positive sign. Okay? Okay, so now we've done already the addition of integer. In your previous lesson, you have learned how to add integers. There are rules you need to follow, right? In order to add integers. So first, when the signs are the same, add and keep the sign. Next, when the signs are different, subtract and use the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. Again, greater absolute value. So in lesson 3, it talks about subtraction of integers. Now, let us start our discussion starting with the rules in subtracting integers. Subtraction rule. To subtract two integers, add the opposite or additive inverse, yung kabaligtaran, of the subtrahend to the minuend. That is, if A and B are any two integers, then A minus B is equal to A plus negative B. Then, follow the rules for addition of integers. For example, for number 1, we should follow this KCC. Keep, change, change. Keep the first integer the same. Next, change the subtraction sign to addition. Change the sign of the second integer. Next, let's remember this one. Follow the rules of for addition. When the signs are the same, or like sign, add and keep the sign. Again, when the signs are the same or magkapareha, add and keep the sign. When the signs are different or di magkapareha, subtract and copy the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. Recall, positive tile, we have the positive tile represent positive 1, the negative tile represent negative 1. So we have this one, positive minus negative, so eliminate since they're both positive negatives equal to 0. Now example, 7 positive 7 minus or positive 3. Then keep, change. So there are 7 positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus 3 negatives. 1, 2, 3. Therefore, follow the rules for addition. 7. Since unlike signs, subtract the integer, then copy the sign of the number with a greater absolute value. Therefore, 7 minus 3 is equal to 4. How about this one? 4 minus 5. Remember, 4 is greater than 5. So follow the rule for addition since unlike signs, subtract integer then copy the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. Therefore, 4 positive then plus 5 negative. So 4, eliminate 4, then the remaining is negative 1. Since there is 1 negative here. Next, how about this one? We have 2 minus negative 4. Again, we have 2 positive plus we have 4 positive. So follow the rules for addition since like sign, add the integer then keep the sign. So since negative magkasunod, so magiging positive na ang sign. Again, once na magkasunod yung sign na negative, it will become positive. Therefore, we have here the positive 4. Then we have positive 2 plus positive 4 is equal to 6 or positive 6. Next, we have negative 3. How about this one? Negative 3 minus 5. So remember, we have 3 negatives and we have 5 negatives. So since like sign and the integer, then keep the sign. Then we have negative 3 plus negative 5 is equal to negative 8. Okay. Okay, same. We have this one, negative 5 minus negative 2. So we have, since the unlike sign, subtract the integer, then copy the sign of the larger number. Again, since magkasunod yung sign, we have negative and negative, then turn it into positive. Therefore, we have negative 5 and positive 2. Since magiging positive na ito kasi magkasunod. Now, we have negative 5 plus positive 2 is equal to negative 3. Since 5 is greater absolute value then and 5 is negative, therefore our sign is negative. Okay? Okay, so we've done already the subtraction of integers. So we will learn about the multiplicand and multiplier. The number to be multiplied is called the multiplicand. The number with which we multiply is called the multiplier. The numbers to be multiplied are called factors. The result obtained is called product. So lesson 4 talks about multiplication of integers. Now, we'll learn that with whole number, multiplication is repeated addition. Now let us start our discussion on the rule in multiplying integer. Rules in multiplying integers. First, when you multiply two numbers with the same sign, the product is positive. Again, when you multiply two numbers with the same magkaparehong sign, the product is positive. For example, positive times positive is equal to positive. Another one, negative times negative is equal to positive. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, when you multiply two numbers with different signs, magkaiba, the product is negative. Remember, different sign, the product is negative. For example, positive times negative is equal to negative. Another one, negative times positive is equal to negative. That is rule number 2. Rule number 3, any number multiplied by 0 gives a product of 0. Okay? Any number multiplied by 0 gives a product of 0. So, any number 0 and the product is 0. So, when you multiply 0, the product is 0. So, the following example illustrates further how integers are multiplied. Example, 6 times 9. So we have 6 multiplied to 9. So we have 54. The product is positive because the sign of the factors are the same. Same positive, therefore 54. Example number 2. Multiply the negative 7 and negative 6. Therefore, negative 7 multiplied with negative 6 is equal to 42. Positive 42. The product is positive because the sign of the factors are the same. Same negative. Example number 3. Negative 8 multiplied to positive 5. Different sign, negative and positive. Therefore, the result will be negative 40. The product is negative because the sign of the factor are different. Example 4. Multiply 5, positive 5 to negative 2. Therefore, positive 5 times negative 2 is equal to negative 10. The last one, multiply 0 to positive 10. And remember, any number multiplied to 0, the product is always 0. Okay, now in this module, you will learn on how to divide integers. There are terms that are special to division that we should be familiar with. Quotient, the answer when we divide. Dividend, the number being divided. Divisor, the number being divided into something. So, we've done already the multiplication of integers. Let's proceed to the lesson 5, division of integers. Now, we have also the rules in dividing integers. First, when two numbers with the same sign are divided, the quotient is always positive. Again, when two numbers with the same sign are divided, the quotient is always positive. Example, we have this positive divided by positive is equal positive. Negative divided by negative is equal positive. When two numbers with different signs are divided, the quotient is always negative. Different sign. Positive divide negative equals negative. Negative divide positive equals negative. Now, rule number 3, the rules for dividing 0 by a non-zero number and for division by 0 still hold. So 0 divided by non-zero any number is always, the answer is 0. Again, 0, the numerator 0, divided by any non-zero number is always, the result is 0. But any number divided by 0 that is undefined. Now example, find the quotient of 45 divided by 5. Since both positive, therefore, since division is inverse of multiplication, determine what number multiplied by 5 produces 45. Hence, 5 times 9 is equal to 45. Therefore, 45 divided by 5 is equal to 9. Okay? So, since both positive. Another example. Example number 2. Find the quotient of negative 51 divided by negative 3. Same sign, negative. Since division is the inverse of multiplication, inverse kabaliktaran, determine what number multiplied by negative 3 produces negative 51. Now, if we ignore the signs, for the meantime, we know that 3 times 17 is equal to 51. We also know that in order to get a negative product, the factors must have different sign. Hence, negative 3 times 17 is equal to negative 51. Therefore, negative 51 divided by negative 3 is positive 17. Next, example number 3. What is negative 57 divided by 19? We have 19 times 3 is equal to 57. Hence, 19 times negative 3 is negative 57. Therefore, negative 57 divided by 19, since different sign, positive and negative, therefore the answer is negative 3. Example number 4, show why 273 divided by negative 21 is negative 13. So we have negative 13 multiplied by negative 21, that is positive 273, since same sign, negative, right? Therefore, 273 divided by negative 21, of course, since different sign, 273 is positive and 21 is negative, therefore the result or the answer is negative 13, since different sign or unlike sign. So example number 5. Tom played golf at an amusement park. His scores on the first 5 holes were negative 1, positive 1, negative 2, negative 1, and negative 2. What was his mean average scores for these holes? Again, the question is, what was his mean or average? So we talk about average scores of these holes. To find the mean, divide the total score by the number of holes. Therefore, we have these first 5 holes. We have negative 1 plus positive 1 plus -2 plus -1 plus -2 is equal to -5 divided by ilan yung whole. There are 5 wholes. Therefore, -5 divided by 5. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 wholes. Now, -5 divided by 5 is equal to, since unlike sign, we have negative and positive. Of course, always the answer is result is negative. Therefore, the answer is -1. Therefore, Tom's mean score for the first 5 hole was -1. Okay? And that's the end of absolute value and operations of integers. And I hope that everyone understand what is all about of the operations of integers, the basic operation of integers, and the absolute value. Thank you for listening, and I hope this video will help you to answer your module 3. Thank you so much. God bless us all and keep safe always.